First, I want to tell you about a new service that our organisation offers, and it's the business wellness coaches. They're new to our team. They have commenced taking clients back in October of last year. Now, the program has been considered and collaborated in government departments over 2.5 years, involving DESBIT, QSBC and the Mental Health Commission. The service is free and confidential, and I stress the service is free and confidential. It provides emotional coaching and wellbeing support for people in business. Now, the addition of the wellness team makes the small business financial counselling service a totally wraparound service. So taking care of your business's greatest asset, you. How many times do people forget that they are their business's greatest assets? And they put themselves on the back burner and they look after everybody else, but they need looking after themselves. Okay. The program is open to business owners and their family employed in the business. Stress can be caused by things outside of your business. It can be divorce, relationship breakdowns, health issues, the birth of a baby. Not all stress flags are from tragedy and crisis. Some of our 200 current cases are in regard to the business growing so much, so rapidly, that the business owners are unable to cope. They don't know where to go, they don't know how to manage it, and that's where our wellbeing team comes in, steps in, and helps them with strategies and things that are going to take the business forward and look after them. Okay. This is our current wellness team at the moment. We have 3 in there. LA, Linda Ann, and we'll just call her LA. These are all based in southern Queensland at the moment. Martin McGlone and Catherine Watson. Now, we're in the process of recruiting for 3 more positions. If you go to our website, and you'll be able to check out all about the wellness team and what they do and where they're situated. I think the 3 recruiting is going to be as far north as Gympie, and then they hope to travel up and help us. If not, heard of Zoom, Teams, telephone, those sort of things to help businesses in our region. Now, okay, so what do they offer? It differs from other mental health and wellness providers in that they give you one-on-one support. It's under a flexible time frame. There's no set number of sessions. It's your choice how long or short you want this to go. There's no referral required. You don't have to make an appointment to see a GP, get a referral, and so on and so forth. So again, it's staying a free service. The wellness team are qualified in human services, psychology, counselling or behavioural science, and importantly, they've all been in business. They understand the pressure and the passion in relation to being in business. They understand you and where you're sitting, what you're trying to achieve, what you're dealing with. They've been there, they've done that, and therefore they can help you to move on from yours. Now, the team will be extending with the onboarding of the 3 new recruits, and they hope to be able to come to the regions in person at least once a year, but if they're not face-to-face, I mean, the electronics bring us face-to-face on a daily basis with everyone. My team is based all over southern Queensland. We probably get together, twice a year, John?
It is now. It used to be 3, but cost cutting, back to 2.
Yeah, back
a junket
to twice
now.
A year.
Less of a junket.
But I have at least 3 meetings every week where you're face on face with them anyway, so it sort of feels like they're right there sitting on your desk anyway. Okay, so those options to stay in touch is pretty much all we've got to offer this area at the moment, but it's still a start. Okay, so what do? Helping business owners take the next right step, making sense of where you're at. Do you ever wake up in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning and go, oh, what should I be doing? Should I be this? Should I be that? And it gets confusing. So
all too frequently by the sound of it.
Well, I start work at 3, so
wow.
I'm up at that time.
That's a different reason, I think, for that, though, isn't it?
The main goal is to reduce emotional and wellbeing stress and building a toolkit on how to manage being in business and what you're facing down with those things. And it's helped develop strategies to move forward with decision making. There's additional information and a table that you'll find if you go onto our website and bring up the wellness team. Now, the wellness team really believe that low intensity support is preferable. They want to get business owners before they've gone too far down. I can't cope. I can't handle this. Right. So if you've got any stresses at all, reach out, contact them, and bring them on board before things get too bad. Because none of us know our breaking point, do we, Chris? Exactly. So yeah, and it's definitely been a long time coming, getting this help, and it's in its infancy, but it's happening, and I think that's really exciting for business owners and their families, that there is somebody looking out for you now. Eligibility. All right. This is a little bit of if your organisation employs fewer than 20 full-time employees, you have an annual turnover under 10 million, and you've got to have an ABN, your headquarters have to be located within southern Queensland. Stop right there. I know we class ourselves as central Queensland, but for my organisation, southern Queensland starts about St Lawrence and downwards.
So the Livingston Shire boundary, essentially, and south. Yeah.
So we are, for this purposes, southern Queensland. Now, the owners of the business should not be insolvent or be an undischarged bankrupt, and you've got to have a small business where their primary source of income is 50% or more of their total income. Now, to give you an example of that, let's say you've got a software engineer and his wife's a lawyer. Between them, they're bringing in $1 million a year, and they'd start a business on the side. And then they decide that they want some help with they're not going to qualify unless that business is bringing in 50% of their income. So it's going to have a turnover of $1 million to do that. So there are some exclusions to it, but also, things like if the landlord has locked the tenant out of the premises, then and they're not actually able to trade as a business, then they're going to be excluded. But always reach out, because if we can't help you, we'll certainly steer you in the direction of somebody that can help you and get you the help that you need. So that is it for the wellness part of it. It's really amazing to have this service finally coming along for small business, and I hope that you are able, if you need it, that you will reach out and use it. There's no stigma anymore on asking for help. So that's there's information on our table, and also some little squeeze things, stress balls, you know, that sort of thing. Now I've got to find my next one.
Now, the more you take of that, the less we've got to take with us.
Oh, sorry.
So please take some.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I just ask one question? Are those new people that you've got, the three that you had on there, the three coming in, are they psychologists, or are they business mentors, or are they, like, what's their...
They're psychologists.
They're all trained, they've all done
Yes, but they're
mental
also
health angle work in the past, and they've got small business experience as well. So you don't often get that combination of people. So it's really handy to have. It's really handy. And as you would imagine, they're fairly busy pretty quickly.
Okay, now this one, I'm not real sure what I'm doing. This is apparently about me. I was just emailed it, so let's see what we can find out about me. Okay, now I'm a small business financial counsellor, and along with John is rural. He handles farm business and that type of thing. I handle small business. Our work colleague Sharon is also small business, and unfortunately she's had to attend a funeral today down south, so she's not able to be here. So you got me, and okay, so this is giving you an idea. This is our whole area that we cover off on, from Livingston down to Goondiwindi, Southern Downs, Scenic Rim, Gold Coast, right out to the South Australian Northern Territory border. And that's all covered by Rural Solutions Queensland, and whereas we help businesses in southern Queensland, we're free, impartial and confidential planning and support services. We're government funded by the Australian and the Queensland governments. So some is federal and some is state. And we're not going to get into that nitty gritty, because that's that even does our head in sometimes.
Complicated.
Okay, so to qualify for our assistance, you've got to be a small to medium enterprise, have a current ABN, less than 200 employees. You are experiencing hardship or at risk due to impacts of COVID, climate conditions, droughts, floods, anything at all like that, and then we can come on board and help you. We do not give advice. We help you see options. We empower you to keep going forward in your business, making the best decisions for you, but you make those decisions. We don't. We just tell you the pros and cons, you know, that type of thing. Okay, and your business must be in southern Queensland. In other words, cut Queensland in half and the bottom half. Yeah. Okay, so the services that we can provide is access and prepare reports on the current financial position, cash flow and viability of your business. We can identify appropriate business options and help develop an action plan. Help and prepare for meetings with financial institutions. How many of you dread that meeting you've got to go to with the bank? You know, when the bank has already said no, you're not having any more overdraft, no, and you you've got to face up to it, your loan account is in arrears, and you know you've got to go and have that conversation, we can go there with you. We're not going to have the conversation for you, but we'll be there to support you. And assist with your preparation for management of natural disasters and other business interruptions. A lot of what I've been doing since the COVID-19 pandemic is helping businesses to pandemic-proof their business so that when we go into the next lockdown, their business can keep
Let's hope not.
functioning, can keep going forward. They can move to an online trading and still have a business income. So I'll give you a little bit of insight here. I'm also a small business owner. I have a cake decorating business. So when we went into lockdown for COVID, I had 12 months of wedding cakes, 12 months of birthday cakes, 12 months of specialty cake orders just wiped, flattened. My whole income for the next 12 months disappeared. What could I do? I went and got a job.
Started work with us.
And that, but this is what a lot of businesses have suffered through. How do they cope? Is this going to happen again? You listen to the news, you'll hear all of this. This is going to happen. That might happen. This might happen. So to take that pressure off, let's look at how we can pandemic-proof or flood-proof or whatever proof you need to do for your business to get it up and running and keep it running successfully. Okay, and identify the need for additional assistance and advice and refer to other professionals within the government and private sectors. Now, due to the impact of the lockdowns and the COVID-19 and everything that we've been through, unfortunately, there's been a lot of businesses have had to go to the wall. Now, this isn't easy, and it's not a decision that is made lightly. A lot of times they've come to our organisation when it's been too late. It's like trying to shut the gate after the horse has already bolted and that. But there's been no other choice but the insolvency path. And that's not a nice path to take. And while we can't stop it because it's already gone too far, and it's like that snowball rolling down the hill, it's getting bigger and faster and you just can't stop it. At least we can be there and help them through, help them over the rough spots, hold their hand, listen to their story and give them the power to keep getting through it and head towards the light at the end of the tunnel. And there's a lot of other things, government organisations and organisations that we can refer them through to for help substance to keep their business going and to help them. Okay. All right, so we can provide mentoring to individual and client groups regarding business improvement and resilience opportunities. We have a fresh eyes approach. You're working in your business, you're working 20 hours a day, you're working 7 days a week, and you become very tunnel vision on what you're doing in your business. When we come in, we're a fresh set of eyes. All of us have had business experience and the likes of that, so we can give you, have you thought about doing this? Well, what if you looked at doing something else and look at the options to help grow your business? There's no fixed time frame to the assistance that we can provide. It's based on the client's needs. We can support long term and we can assist with specific short term. So some of the short-term ones, as I said, might be going down the insolvency pathway, and you're getting them through everything that they've got to do there, and then you can, and then they're done. They're through. You've got them set up that their mental health is okay, and they're set up where they're getting Centrelink and that, and then they're right. They don't need you anymore, and then they move on, and I can move on to other clients as well. Okay, so we have a lot of networks, government departments, business support organisations, community organisations, and other professional services that we can refer our clients through to. That was a shift button. Okay, so again, our services are free, absolutely, totally free. No hidden costs. It's confidential, it's impartial, and it offers support and assistance to businesses. Okay, so if you reach out to your local team at SBFC SSQ, that's a mouthful and a half, that stands for Small Business Financial Counsellors Southern, whatever. Even I'm lost on that one.
Service Southern Queensland.
And that's that number takes you through to the head office, and then you'll get pushed out to one of us, or you can email us at that. Business cards are on the table if you want to make contact with any of us. Get rid of that one. Okay, do I have any questions? And even if you not sure whether they need rural or state government small business or federal government small business, just reach out to any one of us and we'll channel you to the right one if we're not the right person for you. Now, John, did you have anything you wanted to add? Come on up here. Don't.
From a rural perspective, I've been doing this job, I think I'm in my 9th year.
Get in the shot, John.
Get in the shot. Do I have to be? I've been doing this job about in the 9th year. Over that time, there's been a series of floods, droughts, and more recently, better times. You might hear the media talk about high commodity prices, there's been good rainfall, there's high property prices. Everyone thinks the rural people are doing it, they're honky-dory, what the hell are they whinging about? The truth is, drought was that long, the good times are this long. It takes almost as long, if not longer, to recover from the serious drought if you get some good times in the meantime. So the issue that rural people are not doing it tough is probably incorrect. We deal with the bottom 20% of producers, so they're always going to be doing it tough because of their financial decision making, their debt to loan ratio, or debt to equity ratios, their serviceability, their management decision making ability. We come in and help those people, but to qualify they have to be at risk of financial hardship or in financial hardship. Now, I'm fairly creative with words. When I've given enough information and armour to work with, I can pretty much swing most scenarios into that because I have to justify my work through a Commonwealth funding deed. You give me the opportunity and I'll have a good crack of it. But the people have to need our assistance. If they can afford to go and get a consultant to do the work that we do, we're going to say no. And that's the simple truth of it. However, there's a lot of people out there who, through whatever reason, need that assistance. Now, I don't know, did you know that Centrelink will help farmers and give them the same rate of fortnightly pay? You might. Does anyone else? Did you know that farmers can get Centrelink assistance and not have to look for work? They can. We do it. We do the financial analysis part for Centrelink on behalf of accountants. We're all qualified to do that. We then get involved with the activity agreements that have to be done with Centrelink and work with them to carry them out. There's government drought assistance or drought resilience funding at the moment. Did you know that that's changed?
Once the drought declarations come off, all that old funding, it's gone. There's new rules. How many people know about that in the rural industries? Now's the time when things are a bit better to access that funding so that they're preparing for the next bad times. That's critical, but that message is not out there yet. So if you know a farmer, tell them there is assistance and there's help available to get them through that, because it's like bureaucracy, there's a lot to deal with in doing those applications. But there's another team that's called Grazing Futures. That's a specialty team to help them to do that. For both grain producers, for horticulture, for cattle, but our Grazing Futures team within our organisation works with cattle. So there's help available, there's assistance available, you've just got to get the people to actually take that step and go, help, make the connection. I've been dealing with a case this week. I'm noticing a lot more mental health issues rising from rural producers. I think it's been there for a long time, but it's finally starting to be talked about. I had to deal with a near suicide this week. It's there. Got him into a psychologist this morning, haven't heard how it's gone. But when the button needs to be pushed, we can be there to push it. And we go to where the people are. Small business do for a lot of your time, but we as rural financial councils go to the property, because you can see what's their mindset just by driving into the place. There's a lot you can tell before you ever meet the people. And we do our best work with a cup of tea, around the table, on the property, on the four-wheeler, whatever it might be, having the chat. So we get out there, we get active, we sometimes get dirty with it as well. But we're there, we're a resource that's locally available. We just need, I've actually been more quiet than I should be, so I've got some capacity, but I think that's going to change fairly quickly. But if you know people out there, rural producers, give us a ring. My card's over here, we can help, not a problem. Happy to do it.
And likewise, if you know any small businesses who are on Struggle Street, you think, anything like that, tell them about us. The hardest thing is getting the word out to the people who need to know. I go to a lot of outreach events for my organisation, but the people who need me the most don't come to these outreach events. They can't afford the price of a cup of coffee or the admittance fee to come to something like this. So I get most of my very needy clients by walking the streets and going into businesses. It's hard to do, but that's how they get to know of the service we provide. They don't have time to sit on the internet and go, help, I'm in small business. So if you see anyone struggling, throw them our card or point them to the website so they can make contact with us. Okay, that's it for me, I think. Thank you.